is this a concept that you're aware of or that you've heard of? That your beliefs shape the world around you. If you have limited beliefs, that means that you have self-inflicted limited potential. But we all have norms and values. No matter where you are in the world, background you have, what culture you're from, what country you live in, norms and values differ. Norms and values differ if you're in New York compared to if you're in Los Angeles. They differ if you're in the north of England to the south of England. But it's our beliefs which shape how we perceive the world, and it's our perception which is how we view ourselves at the same time. If we have a negative self-perception, then that will reflect outwards to have a negative reflection on the world, because we live in this world of duality, and it's like the mirror effect. So why do we have limited beliefs, and how do they stop you from living a life full of abundance, a life full of opportunity? Because opportunity is everywhere. Opportunity is around every street corner, and it's on every page that you look at on the internet. It's with every conversation, every relationship, every friend, every family member. There is opportunity. There's an opportunity when you have a chat with your boss in the workplace. There's an opportunity when you're driving to work, when you're driving home. There's opportunity everywhere. And the opportunity starts up here in our mind. Now, the issue is that we decode the world through our senses. You're watching this now through your eyes, and you can hear me through your ears. But the world creates a limited belief because we experience the world and we absorb its negativities. We absorb the negative energy around us. We absorb the negativity from other people. And it's the other people's self-limiting beliefs that we take on through our consciousness, and then that presses on our subconscious, and our subconscious then creates our world for us. And it all starts with a thought. You're watching this now thinking, I'm thinking about what I'm going to say. And my thoughts have come from somewhere. In this case, it's from experience. And this is a philosophy, like most of my videos. This is a way of thinking, and it's about changing the way you think, because the way you think dictates your future. It dictates your now, and it dictates how you've lived your life up until this point, up until watching this video. Now, the universe and the YouTube algorithm has brought this video to you. How do we use it to change your limited beliefs? Not just about yourself, but about how you can live your life. How many of you know people who have very limited beliefs? And it could have been your parents. It could have started when you were a child, because we're being conditioned continuously. When we use the terms, we're being conditioned, we're being programmed, it sounds nefarious and it sounds computer, digital, right? Because we program computers and we program the television so that we can watch the TV channel that we want. But conditioning and programming isn't something new. This isn't a new concept. It isn't something which we've only just thought about or philosophized about in the last few years. It's been going on forever. Since the beginning of time until the end of time, there will be a degree of conditioning going on. And your conditioning probably started at home. It certainly did for me. And some of us grew up with narcissistic parents. And if you've been unfortunate enough to have a narcissistic parent or a narcissist close to your life, maybe you're in a relationship with these people, they will do absolutely everything they can to snuff out your potential. If you were good at sports, your narcissist parent will do everything they can to stop you from excelling, because they don't want you to be the center of attention. They didn't want you excelling. They didn't want you showing them up. And that can be the same if you're intellectual, if you're academic, if you're good at building things, if you're good with your hands and you've got a knack for carpentry. A narcissist will do everything they can to stop you from excelling and doing well at things, because they need to remain the center of attention. And that means extinguishing and suppressing other people's skills and abilities, which then impresses on our subconscious, and then that affects how we see the world through our optical lens. I've met loads of people with limited beliefs, and it could be something like somebody's unhappy with their work, their job, because we all need to work, we all need a job. And I've said, well, why don't you do something else? Why don't you try something different? And immediately they just turn around and say, well, I've got 2 kids, I can't do anything else. Or I've got rent to pay, I can't do anything else. They're limited beliefs. Having children, having a family, having rent, having bills and expenses, this is something that we all have and we all have to experience. That doesn't mean that you have to stay on the same straight, narrow path for the rest of your life. You can make a change at any moment. You can make a change at any moment, and it can go in any direction. It can be 360. It doesn't matter. Everything starts with a thought, because our thoughts are electrical. The world around us is electrical. But the key thing here is if you're not thinking about it, then it's not going to happen. If you're working on that factory line, and believe it or not, I worked in a factory after leaving school for about 6 months, because the place I was working ended up burning down, oddly enough. So a load of people were out of work whilst studying at college. But I worked in this factory, and there had people that had done the same job for 30 years. And that's okay if that was what they wanted to do. But I couldn't help but wonder if they were doing it due to limited beliefs, limited self-perception, and a limited prerogative and outlook on the world. Because the world's ginormous. We can go anywhere within reason. Well, we can go anywhere. It just takes a bit of planning and preparation. And we can do whatever we want. We can achieve whatever we want. We can visit wherever we want. You can do all of these things. Just because your life's a certain way now doesn't mean that it has to be the way it is next week or next year. But you really have to think about what it is you believe and why it is you believe it. And doesn't have to be negative parenting. It could be the very first job that you had when you were a teenager and you had a nasty boss and it was a toxic bullying type environment and people made you feel unworthy. And our mind's like a sponge. If someone tells you that you're unworthy enough and you end up starting to believe it, you'll press on your subconscious and you'll become self-conscious. I've been self-conscious over the years. And now I look back on being self-conscious and think, I can't believe other people made me feel this way. And I'm fairly confident that you would have felt the same way too. It doesn't matter how confident you are or the confidence that we project outwards. People have made you feel like you're not worthy and doubt yourself. And it's often the people that we love. It's the people closest to us. And I, for one, don't understand why we treat each other like this. The ugliness in the world. You can make an adjustment, and a simple adjustment, just to the way you think and what you believe, then it's like a domino effect. You set those rows of dominoes up, you knock the first one over, and they start cascading. And that's the way that we should be looking at the world around us, the way you need to view the world around you. That it is like a domino. You can start moving walls, you can start building bridges, you can start demolishing old negative bridges, ones that don't serve you any purpose anymore. And it's okay to say no as well. In society, as human beings, we're, for want of a better word, programmed to say yes all the time. But have you ever noticed that not everybody else always says yes? How often are you said no to in the workplace, family environment. There's a lot of people out there who quite happily just say no. So we don't need to keep saying yes to everything, not if it doesn't serve you any purpose. And we're not talking about saying no just to stiff people over, or if somebody wants a seat on the bus, you won't move up, or getting onto a busy subway train and someone's blocking the doorway. How often is somebody just standing there and they just won't move? At rush hour in the morning, people just outright refuse to move. And what sort of belief system do they have? Are they happy? How are they living their lives? Your beliefs shape the reality around you. Your beliefs create your opportunities. If you've got limited beliefs, then you can make a change. You can make a simple change, and it starts with a small step, just one small step. And small steps lead to larger steps. And larger steps lead to something magnificent. Because something amazing and something great is out there waiting for you. We just need to realize it ourselves. We need to accept that. We need to believe it. And that's the hardest thing, is belief, is believing, because the world tries to suppress us. The world around us, reality, people closest to us for some reason. And I don't know why we do it to each other. But it doesn't need to continue. It doesn't need to be a circle. It doesn't need to be a cycle. We can always break the cycle. Just because you've been treated one way or somebody's made you feel a certain way, which is now making you self-conscious and giving you limited belief, then it doesn't need to continue. It really doesn't. For most of my life, I suffered with self-limiting beliefs. Now that may sound strange and contradictory, since I seem to have the confidence to be making this video and setting up a channel. But I've also manifested desired outcomes plenty of times. By hook or by crook, over the years, my desires seem to have materialized into reality. And that's because I believed, though I had limited beliefs. The limited beliefs were contained into certain sections, into certain boxes. Nobody can ever take away your feelings and your ability to believe and the way you think. People can try and manipulate and control that, but they can't take it away. Have a really good think about what it is you believe and why it is you believe it, and have a think about how you view yourself, because you are worthy. You are brilliant, you're powerful, and you're strong. And other people will try and tell you the opposite of that. The media, the world around us will try and tell you that you're not worthy and that you can't achieve this and you can't achieve that. And you just need to be stuck in a humdrum type existence. But we are what we believe we are. And if that's what you believe you are, then that's what you'll be. But you can change what you believe so that the world really does become your oyster, and it's out there to explore and it's out there to discover. I really hope you've enjoyed our chat today. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already, if you're new. And like all of my videos, I wish you well, and remember to always be the best version of yourself and believe you are, because you are. And I will see you on the next one. Bye-bye.